Hello viewers, I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's defense sector is rapidly strengthening under the Atmanirbhar Bharat or the Self-Reliant India initiative. Defense exports have skyrocketed 34-fold in the past decade, driven by Make in India and policies like production-linked incentives. Key milestones such as Operation Sindoor and BrahMos missile deployment against Pakistan underscore India's growing defense capabilities. A report.
In the volatile skies over conflict zones, India marked a bold new chapter in its military history. During Operation Sindoor, the Indian Armed Forces deployed the BrahMos missile in combat for the very first time, a watershed moment showcasing the nation's growing military sophistication. More than just a tactical operation, it was a statement. India's defense capability has arrived, confident, self-reliant, and increasingly indigenized. At the center of this evolution is the government's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. Strategic policy interventions such as the Make in India initiative and production-linked incentive schemes have catalyzed the modernization of India's defense manufacturing. In a significant move to strengthen this capability, the Indian Defence Minister recently inaugurated the state-of-the-art BrahMos missile production facility in Lucknow, which will manufacture 100 to 150 missiles annually. This facility is a key component of the larger defence industrial corridor in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, which is positioning the region as a strategic hub for defence manufacturing and innovation.
डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर के सभी नोड्स को डेवलप करने के लिए हम पूरी तरह से कमिटेड हैं। मुझे यह भी बतलाया गया है कि अभी उत्तर प्रदेश डिफेंस कॉरिडोर में एयरक्राफ्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, यूएवी, ड्रोन्स, एमिनिशन, कंपोजिट एंड क्रिटिकल मटेरियल्स, स्मॉल आर्म्स, टेक्सटाइल तथा पैरासूट आदि में मेजर इन्वेस्टमेंट किए गए हैं। एक अच्छी बात यह है कि इस डिफेंस कॉरिडोर में हमें पब्लिक सेक्टर और प्राइवेट सेक्टर दोनों की ही बड़ी अहम भागीदारी दिखाई दे रही है।
India's defense sector is experiencing a monumental rise, reshaping both its capabilities and its position on the global stage. In just a decade, India's defense exports have skyrocketed by an incredible 34 times, a testament to the nation's growing prowess in the field. According to the Ministry of Defense, in 2024 to 2025, India exported defense goods worth Rs 23,622 crores, a massive leap from just Rs 686 crore in 2013 to 2014. Central to this growth is India's strategic push for indigenization, particularly the production of advanced defense systems. This includes the development of cutting-edge platforms such as fighter jets, drones, submarines, tanks, and missile systems, signaling India's shift towards greater self-reliance and technological sovereignty in defense.
This is the first time that so many indigenous weapons, along with the radars and drones, along with the payloads developed by many startups, have been used extensively. Day by day improving its position in advanced technologies of defense and producing them large number through industry.
As India continues to build on this momentum, the future of its defense sector looks increasingly promising. The rapid advancements in indigenized defense systems, coupled with strategic investments in manufacturing infrastructure, will continue to enhance India's role on the world stage. In the coming years, India's defense sector is set to play an even more significant role in shaping global security dynamics, reinforcing its position as a key player in the evolving geopolitical landscape.
Operation Sindoor is more than just a military success. It's a declaration that India will not tolerate terrorism in any form. As the nation stands united, Pakistan continues to peddle fake narratives. Just like in Kargil, Pakistan is once again trying to rewrite the truth. But the world has seen through the lies. India, meanwhile, moves ahead with strength and clarity, determined to protect its people and uphold the dignity of every citizen. Take a look.
The streets of India echoed with patriotic fervour as the Tiranga rally surged across the nation, a vibrant display of unity and strength. This outpouring of pride marked the backdrop of Operation Sindoor, a bold, decisive strike against Pak-sponsored terrorism, crafted with precision to achieve military, political and psychological objectives. Indian forces executed a precise operation, demolishing terrorist camps in Bahawalpur, Muridke and Muzaffarabad. With each target reduced to rubble, country's resolve to eradicate terrorism was unmistakable. In a moment of gratitude, Prime Minister Modi visited Air Force Station Adampur, honouring the brave soldiers. Earlier, while addressing the nation, PM Modi emphasised the world had witnessed the strength of a united India, ready to rise against any threat.
इस आतंकी हमले के बाद सारा राष्ट्र, हर नागरिक, हर समाज, हर वर्ग, हर राजनीतिक दल एक स्वर में आतंक के खिलाफ कड़ी कार्रवाई के लिए उठ खड़ा हुआ। हमने आतंकवादियों को मिट्टी में मिलाने के लिए भारत की सेनाओं को पूरी छूट दे दी और आज हर आतंकी, आतंक का हर संगठन जान चुका है कि हमारी बहनों बेटियों के माथे से सिंदूर हटाने का अंजाम क्या होता है।
As India celebrates the success of Operation Sindoor, the shadow of Pakistan's long history of lies looms large. From its involvement in the Kargil war to its continued refusal to confront the truth, Pakistan's record is marred by dishonesty and deception. During the Kargil conflict, a particularly telling moment emerged when Pakistan's leadership refused to take back the bodies of its soldiers even after their defeat. The situation was not just a humanitarian tragedy, but also a glaring example of Pakistan's tendency to deny its actions even in the face of irrefutable evidence. Just as it did in Kargil, Pakistan is now trying to deflect blame, defy the truth, and peddle a narrative of victimhood despite being the sponsor of terror.
पाकिस्तान की एक पुरानी आदत है, वो एक झूठ का पुतला है। वो अपने लोगों को सच नहीं बताता। वो एक ऐसा मुल्क है जिसने करगिल लड़ाई के अंदर अपने शहीद जो हुए फौजी, उनके लेने से, उनकी बॉडी लेने से इनकार कर दिया। उन्होंने कहा जी ये तो हमारे है ही नहीं। तो उस मुल्क के ऊपर क्या यकीन कर सकते हो आप? उनके क्या इनके एस्टेब्लिशमेंट पे यकीन कर सकते हो जो एक फौजी की जो बॉडी नहीं लेता उसके बाद में? वो तो हिंदुस्तान ने फिर फुल मिलिट्री ऑनर्स के साथ उनके जो है संस्कार किए हैं यहाँ पे।
Operation Sindoor has shown the world that India will not tolerate terrorism in any form. It has sent a clear message. India's strength lies not only in its military might, but in its unwavering commitment to protect its people and its values. While Pakistan continues to live in denial, India moves forward, united in its resolve to defeat terror and defend its sovereignty.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
The The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation's trade gathering adopted a joint statement on Friday that cited fundamental challenges facing the global trading system after a meeting in South Korea overshadowed by divisions on US tariffs. APEC members said they remained committed to the group as the main forum for regional economic cooperation and to address the economic challenges facing the Asia-Pacific region. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese held talks with Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto on defense cooperation and global trade on May 15, describing Jakarta as an indispensable partner on his first international visit since his re-election. Albanese, sworn into office after his centre-left Labour Party won an increased majority in Parliament, said his visit showed the priority Canberra placed on defence and economic ties with Jakarta. President Donald Trump said that Qatar was fighting for the US to make a deal with Iran, adding that there are many people that want him to go the other route. Trump said the United States was getting very close to securing a nuclear deal with Iran and Tehran had sort of agreed to the terms.
Moving on. Once hailed as the party that delivered independence, Awami League in Bangladesh finds itself completely sidelined by an unelected interim government. Authorities insist it's about national security, but critics see a broader attempt to erase opposition and rewrite history. As the country stands at a crossroads, the coming days could determine the future of its democracy. A report.
Bangladesh's political crisis deepens as the interim government has imposed a sweeping ban on the Awami League, the party that led the nation to independence. The move is raising alarm, with critics calling it a dangerous step toward authoritarian rule. The announcement came during a press briefing by law advisor Asif Nazrul, who cited the party's alleged involvement in last year's deadly unrest that claimed several lives. The decision, framed as a national security measure, is the most drastic political action since the interim administration took power.
বাংলাদেশের আওয়ামী লীগ ও তার নেতাদের বিচার কার্য সম্পন্ন না হওয়া পর্যন্ত দেশের নিরাপত্তা ও সার্বভৌমত্ব রক্ষা, জুলাই আন্দোলনের নেতাকর্মীদের নিরাপত্তা এবং আন্তর্জাতিক অপরাধ ট্রাইব্যুনালের বাদী ও সাক্ষীদের সুরক্ষার জন্য সন্ত্রাস বিরোধী আইনের অধীনে সাইবার স্পেস সহ আওয়ামী লীগের যাবতীয় কার্যক্রম নিষিদ্ধ করার সিদ্ধান্ত গ্রহণ করা হয়েছে।
While the government justifies the ban on legal grounds, critics argue it targets a party deeply woven into Bangladesh's national identity, the very force behind its independence from Pakistan in 1971. Tensions had been building for weeks. On May 9, a massive protest march converged on the residence of interim government chief Muhammad Yunus, demanding the Awami League be outlawed. The caretaker government's rapid response within just 24 hours has led many to believe the ban was pre-planned. In response, the Awami League issued a defiant statement through its verified Facebook page, labeling the caretaker administration illegal and accusing it of using the judiciary for political revenge.
এই যে আওয়ামী লীগের নিষিদ্ধের যে দাবিটি সেটি রাজনৈতিক দলের হলো, পরবর্তীতে কিন্তু এটি একটি গণদাবিতে রূপান্তরিত হয়। অর্থাৎ বাংলাদেশের আপামর ছাত্র জনতা কিন্তু আওয়ামী লীগের নিষিদ্ধের দাবিতে রাজপথে স্বতঃস্ফূর্তভাবে অংশগ্রহণ করে এবং আজকে আপামর ছাত্র জনতার আওয়ামী লীগের নিষিদ্ধের মাধ্যমে আপামর ছাত্র জনতার বিজয় হয়েছে বলে আমরা মনে করছি।
The ban on the Awami League marks an unprecedented chapter in Bangladesh's political history, not only for dismantling a dominant party, but for sidelining the very force that led the nation to independence. As tensions escalate and public outrage grows, the world watches a fragile democracy teeter on the edge. What began as a transitional caretaker government is now facing mounting scrutiny over its legitimacy,
its intentions, and its future. On May 12th, Colombo transformed into a vibrant hub of light, color and spiritual devotion as tens of thousands of people gather to mark Vesak Day, the most sacred celebration on Sri Lanka's Buddhist calendar. From towering pandals to glowing lanterns and the scent of incense in the air, the city reflected the deep reverence for the life and teachings of the Buddha. Take a look. The streets of Colombo, Sri Lanka were awash in colour and devotion on May 12th as tens of thousands of people gathered to mark Vesak Day, the most sacred and celebrated festival in the country's Buddhist calendar. Vesak commemorates the three most significant events in the life of Gautam Buddha: his birth, enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, and his passing into Parinirvana. As dusk fell over the capital, Colombo transformed into a breathtaking tapestry of colour and light. Towering pandals, elaborate, illuminated structures adorned with intricate scenes from the Buddha's life lined the city streets. Homes, businesses and temples shimmered under the glow of countless paper lanterns and vibrant fairy tales, creating a surreal atmosphere of serenity and celebration.
Here to see Vesak, and it's a lovely experience because we feel it's a feeling of being with everybody around who comes from all parts of the country, and here we it's a smell, what you see, what you feel, it's a lot from your heart. So it's a lovely experience, and I think this Vesak person is something very unique to Sri Lanka.
Devotees throng temples across the city to light traditional oil lamps, a ritual symbolizing the illumination of the mind and soul through the Buddha's teachings of wisdom and compassion. More than 8,500 free food and drink stalls were set up island-wide to cater to devotees, with the largest stall at Independence Square in Colombo anticipated to serve 35,000 people with complimentary meals and ice cream over a 24-hour period.
ඇත්තටම හරිම හොඳ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක්. ඉතින් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වෙසක් දවසට පන්සල් ගිහිල්ලා ඒ වගේ පින් වැඩ කරාට පස්සේ ඉතින් පොඩ්ඩක් එළියට බැහැලා මේ මෙතන ඇත්තටම මේ හදලා තියෙන කූඩු හැම බැලුවම හරිම පුදුම හිතෙනවා, හරිම ලස්සනයි, මේ ලොකු එෆර්ට් එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් හරි සන්තෝෂයි මේ වගේ තැනක ඇවිදලා පොඩ්ඩක් සන්තෝෂ වෙන එකට.
Though Vesak is observed across Sri Lanka with reverence and festivity, Colombo remains the heart of the nation's celebration. Throughout the week, the city draws hundreds of thousands of pilgrims and visitors from every province, creating a unifying national experience that blends spiritual reflection with artistic expression. The week-long celebrations offer not just a visual feast, but also a deeply spiritual journey for Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike. One that honors a 2,500-year-old legacy of peace, mindfulness and compassion. In India, Vesak Day is celebrated as Buddha Purnima, and it holds great religious, cultural and historical significance for the country. Temples across the country, especially at sacred sites like Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Kushinagar, became centers of major religious gatherings and rituals on this day. This sacred occasion not only honors the life and teachings of the Buddha, but also reaffirms India's enduring role as the spiritual homeland of Buddhism and a beacon of peace, wisdom and compassion for the world. Sri Lanka's Vesak celebrations capture the essence of spirituality, peace and devotion. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.